Hello and welcome to our session today on advanced trigonometry, and today we're going to use the cosine rule when you know three lengths to work out an angle. Now we use cosine rule in non-right angle triangles, and remember to have your calculator on degrees setting, not radians. We need three sides of the triangle to find an angle using the cosine rule. So step one, we label side A and then opposite side A, side B, and then the opposite angle, and I'll show you an example of these. Okay, so first of all, what we've got here is our triangle, and we're going to call this one here angle A, angle B, and angle C. So the side opposite angle A is little a, the side opposite angle B is little b, and the side opposite angle C is little c. So next we write down the formula, which is cos A equals b squared plus c squared minus a squared all over 2bc. Step 3, we then substitute our knowns into the formula, and step 4, we solve. Okay, so let's go through a quick example. So how we derive the cosine rule. So the cosine rule, the one that a lot of you will have seen before, is the one to work out a length. And as I've just shown you, the lowercase, i.e. the little a, that means that you're trying to work out the length A. The capital A and the capitals are the angles. So first of all, what we've got to do is we've got to move across the minus 2bc, because that is our negative. And what we try to do is to get most things positive. So therefore we move the minus 2bc cosine of A across, and we use the change side, change sign method. So minus 2bc cosine of A becomes positive 2bc cosine of A, as you can see here. So next we're trying to get lengths on one side, which is the lowercase, and angles on the other. So this 2bc is directly related to the cosine of A, so we're going to have to move that across at some point. But this one here is furthest away, so we move that across there to the other side. And positive A squared, and that's the positive in front, when we move it across becomes negative A squared. So what we've now got is 2bc cosine of A equals b squared plus c squared equals, take away a squared. So now we have to move across the remaining lengths, and the remaining lengths are the lowercase, which in this case is the b and the c. Now the big question is, what are the 2bc doing to the cos? And if there's no sign between them, it's a times. So a times on one side, when we bring it over it becomes the opposite, which is the opposite to times is divide. So then we're left with cos A on the left hand side, and that's cos of the angle because it's a capital, equals b squared plus c squared minus a squared all over 2bc. Okay, so let's have a go at an example. So I've just made a quick note here, to the power negative 1 means to the power negative 1. Okay, so that little upside down triangle means superscript really. So find the size of the angle marked with an X. So what we've got here is it's a non-right angle triangle, so we would label it A, B and C. So the side opposite A is this one, the side opposite B is this one, and the side opposite C is this one. So what we've got fact, I'm going to change that very slightly. I'm going to call this one here A, so that one there's A, this one there B, and then that one there's B. Now the good thing about the sine rule is you can, sine and cosine rule, is that it doesn't matter which way round you put the vertices. That one there could be A, B or C, as long as the side opposite is the lowercase equivalent. Okay, so let's have a look. So we've labelled the triangle A, B and C, and what we're after is this angle here, which is A. So we know that the formula is cosine of A equals b squared plus c squared minus a squared all over 2bc. Okay, so we'll just carry that across there. Don't know why that's happened. Okay, so now we substitute into our general formula. So let's just write down. So A is 3.9, and this is from the diagram. So A equals 3.9, B equals, and C equals. So B equals 7.8, and C equals 5.4. Okay, so B is 7.4 or 7.8, but what I've done is I've just switched these two around. So B squared, and I've put that here instead of there, but a number plus another number is the same. So it would be 5.4 squared plus 7.8 squared minus the a squared, and the a squared is 3.9. 2 times b, which is 7.8, times 5.4, and of course you can switch the numbers around if you're adding or timesing, because 2 times 3 is the same as 3 times 2. Now what I've also done in that step is circled the cos, and I've brought that across to the other side. And when we bring a cos across to the other side, it becomes cos to the power negative 1. So then what we do is, on our calculators, we put cos to the power negative 1, and then we put all of this in brackets. Now most of us have got a calculator with a fraction button on, so use the fraction button. So that would equal 27.4, and that would be degrees, and that would be to 2 decimal places. Okay, so it's now your turn to have a go at one, and I've added an extra question in here, and it's find the area of the triangle. Okay, so that's quite straightforward, but if you don't know the formula, then it probably won't be. Okay, so just pause your video at the moment and have a go at completing that question. Okay, so let's go through the answer to that question. So the first thing that we've got to do is we've got to label the triangle. So if we label the triangle, now again I'm going to pick the unknown angle as A. So the side opposite capital A is little a. This one here is B, and this one here is C. So that one there's B, and then that one there's little c. Oh no, little b, and then this one here is opposite big C, so it's little c. Okay, so basically let's have a look at our working out now. So first step is label, and that's exactly what I've done. So we substitute our values into the general formula, so that's cosine of A equals b squared plus c squared minus a squared, and that's all over 2bc. So when we substitute into the formula, we've got cos x equals 9 squared plus 11 squared, and that should be b and c. So let's have a look. So 9 squared is c and b is 11, and then it would be minus 6. So therefore, now it doesn't matter again how you label b and c, it's the a that's the, so b and c can be inverted. So therefore, if we just have a look at this, just to make it a bit clearer, so a equals 6 from the diagram, b equals, and I've substituted it in as b equals 9, and I've said c equals 11. So therefore b squared is 9 squared, c squared is 11 squared, minus a squared, which is 6 squared, divided by 2 times 9 times 11. So now what we've got to do is we've got to bring over the cos x, and when we bring cos across to the other side, it becomes the opposite of cos, which is inverse cos, cos to the minus 1, and then we use our fraction button on the calculator and take inverse cos, and that becomes 33.03 degrees. Next, so question 1b. Now this is the formula for the area of a triangle when you don't know the base and the vertical height. Now, half AB sine C, but I've rearranged it so it's half BC sine A. Now you can rearrange them. Now the other one is half AC sine B. So now we substitute our values into the equation. So we know what little b is, and that's 9, little c is 11, and then sine of 33.031516. And that is this number here, but not simplified, because remember, if you're going to use a number again like an angle, you've got to use all of the decimal places for accuracy. If you had have used 33.03, you probably would have lost marks in an exam for accuracy and rounding. Okay, so half AB sine C or half BC sine A, etc., is the area of a triangle when using trigonometry. So that, if you put that into your calculator, it equals 26.98, and it will be centimetres squared in this case. This is our lesson on finding an angle of a non-right angle triangle using trigonometry cosine rule. If you have any questions, then please click on the link in the description and we are happy to help. I've also added in there about the area of a triangle using trigonometry, half AB sine C. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you soon.